I would first like to thank God for creating such a wonderful woman that we may revel in and celebrate her life. I would like to thank all of you for coming to show your respects to Mom. And for those of you watching online, I thank you for showing your respects from a distance. As Henry VIII would say to each one of his 6 wives, I won't keep you long. I would say, for those of you that don't know me, but you should, considering why we're all here. You know that Mom is an Army veteran. What you probably don't know is that she inspired me to become one as well.
Yes. Yes.
And if you know anything about my service, you know at least a little bit about her service. Because she was a similar soldier to me, and as well as a similar person. As you can expect, I've been thinking about Mom a lot over these past few months. Not just these past few days and weeks. I've been thinking about the times she most impacted my life. I've been thinking about the times that Mom didn't. I've been thinking about the good times, and I've been thinking about the bad times. When I was in Mom's hospital room with her and her nurse, I told Mom that when I get up to heaven, we have to go on a run together. Which, when you think about it, is a bad idea, because Mom will be cured of everything that has ailed her, and she is a much better runner than I ever was, even at my best. To put it in perspective, when I got back to Fort Eustis, Virginia, for my second tour of duty there, I ran 2 miles in 13 minutes and 40 seconds, which to this day is the best I've ever done. When I was finished, I got back to my barracks room and I called Mom up to tell her how proud I was of myself. Her response was, son, when I was your age, I ran 6 miles in 29 minutes. I said, come on, Mom, really? You couldn't let me have this once? Nope. She couldn't. You see, Mom was always pushing me to be better, asking that I hold on for just a little bit longer. When I learned to ride a bike, she told me that since she isn't always going to be here, I need to pick myself up and dust myself off. The first time I fell off my bike wasn't until a few weeks after Mom had a neighbor take the training wheels off. After I realized Mom is never going to be sitting on that couch watching whatever show with me, be it one of her favorite shows, Blue Bloods, Hawaii Five-0, or Last Man Standing, I thought about mostly the bad times. How I could have been a better son. That sent me down a path where the day after Mom passed, I almost broke down in Walmart, and where I did break down at GameStop. The people that work at GameStop know me and were thankfully very supportive. After going down that rabbit hole, it was talking with others that pulled me out. I talked with an Air Force friend of mine, Sasha Nicole, for about 4.5 hours. About 1.5 years ago, I had a falling out with my oldest best friend, Nick Von Aston, who lives in the United Kingdom. Not going into the nitty-gritty of that, but I sent an olive branch to his wife, Kelly, who agreed to relay the message, and on New Year's Eve, we buried the hatchet as we reminisced and toasted Mom over the course of about 3.5 hours. I also talked to two of my army buddies from Afghanistan, Blair Potter and Chris Washington, for about an hour each. They live in Italy and Denmark, respectively. My conversation with Washington ended up being about things I shouldn't say in a church, and when we hung up, I noticed that I laughed so hard I spat on my phone. You'll be glad to know it has since been cleaned. It's at this point I will address the elephant in the room. You are all probably wondering why I'm wearing this Emmitt Smith Dallas Cowboys jersey. Well, the reason is simple. Mom is a die-hard Dallas Cowboys fan. I mean, she absolutely loves them. One of the many things we did together was watch Dallas Cowboys football games. And like any mom that doesn't know much about football, she would yell at the TV screen whenever something big would happen. And she was a regular TV cheerleader. Mom was always thinking of others and donated to police organizations even though she lived on a fixed income. You're also probably wondering why I was at GameStop the day after my mother died. Another of the many things Mom and I love doing together is she loved to watch me play video games. In particular, she loved to watch me play Mass Effect. It's a trilogy of third-person shooter games that is very similar to Star Trek, which she also loved. That has a story that Mom and I both agree could be its own movie or TV series. I went to GameStop to reserve the remastered version for its future release. We loved laughing together. Some time ago, when comedian Jimmy Fallon lost his mom, he took about a week off from work, and when he came back to his late night talk show, he looked into the camera and said, "Mom, I will never stop trying to make you laugh." At that point, I looked Mom in the eye and said, "Mom, I promise I will never stop trying to make you laugh." I've learned many things from Mom. How to show love and compassion to others, to those you care about, and how to let things and people go when they are toxic to your life. She taught me plenty of things about religion, as almost everything she talked about could be traced back to her beliefs. So I don't take any more of your time. I'll leave you with these two quotes. The first one I heard a few days after Mom passed, said by Tim Allen watching the TV show Last Man Standing. It goes as such. You don't want to go out limping like a lamb. You want to still be roaring like a lion, just not a Detroit lion. And while it may be hard to know when to walk away from the thing that made you great, it's never the right time to be finished as a person. Life is a gift. Every day is a gift. That's why they call it the present. And what you owe in return for it is to keep growing, keep learning, and keep getting better. And call your mom. Now, before I tell you the second quote, let me tell you this. Mom had many problems at the end of her earthly life. Among them were rheumatoid arthritis and the inability to breathe as well as one should. She couldn't keep up with the pride anymore. But when she couldn't, what made her great in her grave, her cub moved heaven and earth and roared. So the entire Serengeti knew her time in heaven had come. The second quote is one I learned. The second quote is one I learned not from Mom, but one of her favorite actors and mustache aficionado, Tom Selleck, on one of her favorite TV shows, Blue Bloods. He who learns must suffer, and even in our sleep, pain that cannot forget falls drop by drop upon the heart, and in our own despair, against our will, comes wisdom to us by the awful grace of God. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.